Resident Evil 6.
Yes, I know it looks like a giraffe. Shut up. If you're a chronically online Resident Evil fan, or hell, even a semi-online Resident Evil fan, you've seen how trashed and bashed on over the last 13 years this game has been. I mean, shit, even back then niggas were pissed. Even big gamer reviewers that always give games high scores couldn't even try to lie for this game and gave it mid scores, bad scores even. It's just no exaggeration, nor is it crazy to say this game deadass could have been the best Resident Evil game of all time. Literally, everything was in his favor, and some things and characters from this game I wish were in the modern games, you feel me? Like the hand-to-hand combat, the movement, the gunplay, the music, all things I love and genuinely think they cooked with in this game. But I'll get deeper with those in a second, and soon. You see the video length thing, I'm not playing, we gonna get there. Nobody really cuts this game slack or defends it for real, and I'll step up to do that, for the most part. I'm gonna be the nigga that's gonna step up for the niggas that love this game. Don't y'all worry, I got us. We in this shit together. I'm gonna start off with the background and development of this game first, then the characters / game details itself, then finally I'm going through my first playthrough and playing each and every campaign with my thoughts and opinions after all that. Because honest to God, a good 60% of niggas that say this game is dog shit have never seen it or even played it. And I'm not finna be grouped up with them niggas. RE5 came out to not bad scores, at least critically. Consumer wise, niggas enjoyed it, but were a little worried that Capcom was going in a full action heavy direction. Little did they know. RE6 began production shortly after RE5 came out, and Capcom was pulling no guns with this game. Every single developer they had in the building was assigned to work on this, having around 600 niggas working on this game. Ichiro Sasaki, the director of the game, skinned up a multiple campaign storyline with different characters and their different themes and gameplay. All these stories would happen around the same time, with one of them being the main factor that ties them all together and all the loose ends of the story together. Just in case you're still confused after playing the first 3 stories, which you will be confused, so you will play this last campaign. Next, the art and design of this game overall is just really damn good, and that's thanks to the art director Tomonori Takano. And on PC, the game comes with an art book, my nigga, so you can go in the files and just take it all in. And this nigga that loves just analyzing art styles and looking at art, man, the bug insect theming of the infected in this game paid off with how disgusting and creepy they are, my nigga, especially those moth bitches I'll get to later. Then there's the purple aesthetic of the game, which I also love, with purple being my favorite color. The honeycomb shaped glass in the background, the menus for select screens, the transitions along with the sound effects. Oh my god, do not get me started on the sound effects, my nigga. This whole damn game is so damn satisfying. The select sounds, the quick time event sounds, the sound of popping an enemy's head off in one shot, the sound of kicking the enemy's head into the dirt, the guns, oh my god, the guns. The sound design of this game is just a thing of beauty. And speaking of the sound design, the music in this game, bro, just the perfect mix of atmospheric horror and action-packed music in one single OST, especially with the main theme, Invasion of Darkness, which also has different versions depending on whose campaign you're selected in the menu. Each of them are good in their own way. The unsureness and mysteriousness of Leon's version, the Call of Duty-esque battle-ready vibe of Chris's version, the calm somberness with that calming guitar in Jake's version, and the espionage spy feel of Ada's is just mwah. Then the gameplay. At times a bit clunky, but when doesn't a Resident Evil game have their kinks? I think to this day, this is the only Resident Evil game where you can like full-on sprint, and that will always be the reason why this game is close to my heart. Not only that, but the combat too, which started in Resident Evil 4, it has been fully put to its potential here in this game, with all the ways you can beat up niggas with your bare hands. Leon's kung fu kicks, Jake stomps into the ground, judo throws with Sherry, Chris fucking throwing people like dog. Also, you have a combat gauge that shows you how many melee hits you have before you get tired. The game doesn't tell you that, to my knowledge. I don't know why. Just keep track of it and upgrade it as soon as you can. And lastly, before I get to the campaigns, let's talk about the cast. Starting off with R.E. Vet, Leon Scott Candy, and his partner, newcomer Helena Harper, who work together to stop whoever is behind the newest virus, the C virus, the strongest virus in the series up to this point. I still think to this day. Next, you got the big Redfield, not the little one, Chris, and serious newcomer Piers Nevans. The BSAA boys go to the typical missions, you know, soldier shit, but also work to stop a secret mastermind behind the scenes, while also helping Chris through his PTSD. The next duo, my faves, we got newcomer Jake Mueller, a mercenary with a troubled past and more that meets the eye behind his starky demeanor, and R.E. Vet, Sherry Birkin, daughter of William Birkin. And last but not least, the woman in the red dress, Ada Wong. Now with my nitpicks, and my nerd facts and the cast laid outside for y'all, I hope you enjoy. Let's start off with this prelude. Lock in. Starting off with an in-medias res opening, we wake up to see our lifeless partner. God damn. We get up and drag their body out the way. God damn. Side note, for a 2013 game, this shit still looks incredible to this day. Maybe it's just because my laptop is good, but still though, for a 2013 game, a decade ago, this game still looks good. The skin and sweat glistening off the characters, the environments, the zombies, it all looks like it came out today, and I stand on that. After spamming X or whatever you're playing on and bursting through this fence, we get this juicy ass shot of yes sir. Turns out our partner has a little bit more fight left in them, and we'll be damned if we leave her behind. Low-key, some unnecessary quick time events aside, some of them be fun though. We navigate through a building and avoid this helicopter again. Once outside, we let our partner rest for a bit so we can go find something to heal her with. Something plant-based, maybe some herbs. Hey, look here. We get in contact with Hunnigan from RE4. Let her know we are not doing so cash money right now. Make a herb with this not so good inventory and crafting system. I will say it's lame as fuck that the inventory system is in real time and not like a suitcase or like just a regular pause screen like old regular games are. So if you got hella shit on you, which you will, eventually will, get ready to cycle for your fucking life through this long ass menu while a bunch of fat ass Boogie 2988 zombies surround you trying to eat your face off. Anywho, we heal Helena. Her name's Helena, by the way. Say hi. We get a scripted sequence against our first zombie where we run out of ammo, unfortunately, and have to exchange fisticuffs through KTEs. This is obvious, but always hit the button in the highlighted part every single time, because during some of these, if you don't, it's instant death. Helena is back up and running, and we make it out to the streets. What the fuck is this, New York? We rip and run our way through the streets, and a fucking plane that was stuck in a building explodes and falls down into the street we're on, blowing up a tanker, causing us to run for our lives before we get blown to smithereens. We make it onto a helicopter, but due to some inconveniences, Leon's gotta take the wheel and keep this bitch afloat. After somehow not crashing into this train, I mean somehow, we go straight through a building and barely make it out this helicopter in one piece. We get back on our feet, and nigga, is that the Washington Monument? We drop down, see whoever that is, and get hit with a nice little one-liner before the title card.
Back for more?
Resident Evil 6.
Yeah, this shit's finna be a doozy, because what if that doesn't sum up this entire game perfectly for you? Then I don't know what will. But either way, let's get into the actual start of this entire game story. Starting off with the GOAT himself, Leon Scott Kennedy and Helena Hart.
Sometimes he holds her hand too tight. Ooh, but that's alright. 'Cause he'll never leave. No, he'll never leave. Will he ever pull her hair like she likes? No, but that's alright.
To kick this story off, we kill the president of the United States of America. He was probably gonna take away food stamps anyway, it's all good. Helena, feeling guilty, says that this is all of her fault, but before we can get any info about it, she says he'll spill the tea at the local cathedral. Hopefully that won't get annoying. Hunnigan calls us and asks about our current situation, which is not too good right now. Hunnigan tells us to get out of the city, but Helena comes up with a lie on the spot saying we need to go to the cathedral first, so on our way we go. Look, man, I just like Helena, seriously, but this game does not do her any favors, and we'll see that more and more here. Shit, we seeing it right now, right here, because what the fuck is at this church that I gotta see so bad that you won't tell me right here, right now? In Leon's perspective, you are literally the main suspect to the death of the President of the United States. So I will start playing my innocence right now, instead of teasing me like Playboy Cardi. Boring ass walking section aside, we find a nigga that could help us out of here. But first, we gotta help find his daughter. So we do, but her ass is not in good shape. A $5 says she turns in like the next 5 minutes. We get Liz and the random nigga to an elevator and head down. But in Resident Evil fashion, she goes in the opposite direction of the right.
Shoot her!
So which one of y'all gonna pay? My cash app right here. I am not playing. We get out the elevator and into a familiar RE spot, aka a parking garage, and we get a bit more depth into Leon's character here and see that he still has that need, that duty to try to save anyone he possibly can. That's him all the way back in Raccoon City, and I fuck with that. We get outside on the campus and gotta make it to a gate. Player tip: take out the zombies that have weapons first, cause them niggas will throw them shits at you like Matthew Stafford when he sees Calvin Johnson on a mismatch. Long ass hallway horde out the way, we're finally out the campus for real and make a dash to a car where we get bombarded by all these goddamn QTEs. Oh, and zombies too, I guess. I'm not gonna hold you, I don't know which one is worse. Surprise, surprise, the car crashes and we gotta hit feet and go to a fucking sewer section. It's like y'all want me to kill myself.
I'm fine.
Okay, Leon not asking them real questions. Fuck this virus. How far can you score? Surprisingly, this section isn't as bad as I thought. Nigga, is that a train? Luckily, whenever the train is coming, if you don't see it or hear it somehow, there'll be a big ass button prompt to dodge the train. Unless you're grabbed by a zombie that was in the darkness and you didn't see it. In that case, good luck, Charlie. After running through hella train tracks, we finally get into a train, and this part is what I mean when I said you can just skedaddle through sections and past enemies, which is helpful as fuck in the long run when it comes to preserving resources, but probably not as helpful when the game wants you to, you know, fight and kill zombies. Only problem is when you get past all the enemies, but your dumbass CPU got caught by a zombie and they take a goddamn millennium to get to the door that you both have to simultaneously open. Luckily though, that's the only problem with the CPU in this game, because unlike in Resident Evil 5 with Sheva, they could die. Like Sheva could die and you have to worry about her inventory and if she ran out of ammo or not. Luckily, you don't gotta worry about that no more here. The CPU does its own thing. All you have to worry about is if it's there with you or not. There's like very specific times when the CPU can't die in this game, but I mean very specific times. Besides that, you don't have to worry about it much. We get back up top and god damn, my nigga, what is this, Detroit? We dash through the city, find a shotgun, and meet our first special infected, a screamer, and these niggas, well, scream. These niggas scream and attract zombies to his current location. And not only that, if you're close enough to the said scream, it will stun you. And if you're close to the screamer after it screams and you're stunned, you do the math. After covering some more ground, we reach a holdout section where we gotta protect these survivors at a gas station. Player tip: when that ambulance comes through, please get out of the way, dog. It is not a cutscene. It will hit you and kill you if you don't move. Do not be like me and stare like a dumbass, please. We dodge the hospital bills and make it to a gun shop. But before we can go upstairs, the nigga running this place wants us to clear out the zombies from below. And we do that. They wanted me to hold out house part from RE4 so bad. You're gonna see that so many times in this game. You're not him, little bro. We finally get upstairs and have one last shit out before we get the fuck out of here and get on the bus straight to the church. Clear it out, and that's a wrap on chapter 1. Honestly, not a bad chapter, but not a crazy good one either. Just solid. Although, it is clear that some of the main flaws of this game are poking through. But hopefully, shit doesn't get too bad. Me and my big fat ass mouth. Hunnigan tells us that a new organization called Neo Umbrella is the cause for this outbreak. Umbrella? Who would have thought? But surprise, surprise, right before we get to the church, the bus crashes, killing everyone except Leon and Helena, which means we gotta hit feet. And this section is not at yo, I'm not gonna lie to you. We gotta run through this graveyard to make it through to the gate. But heads up, fuckface, there's a lot of unfinished graves here that you can fall into. And if you're like me and you're running through this level because it's dark as fuck and there's hella enemies, and you can't see any holes unless the lightning strikes right where you are so you can see what you're running into, you will fall in. And sometimes you'll get lucky, only fall in the mud. But if you're like my black ass, you'll be a zombie in there waiting for you to bite your ass cheeks while you're in the mud, already fighting to get out. Anyway, after stepping and stomping all over these dead niggas and dealing with the zombie dog, oh my fucking god, we get to the church, but the niggas inside won't let us in. So after a lot of begging and pleading and a lot of dead niggas later, we finally get inside the church. Leon asks Elena if she can finally tell him what's going on, but no, we have to see it to believe it. Bitch, my current belief for you is that you're a domestic terrorist and not the Darvin Ham kind. Statue collecting puzzle, really fun laser puzzle that takes advantage of the dodging, using your laser sight to light up mirrors, and ringing a few bells. We finally get the last statue. We need to unlock the main underground part of the church. But first, we gotta deal with Lepotitsa. So the titty monster, whenever this nigga spawns, you're on the clock, because he emits a poisonous gas that if left unchecked for too long, or if you're just in it for too long, that's your ass, Mr. Postman. So get that nigga going ASAP whenever you see him. Also, for the love of God, keep your distance. We slay the titty monster and head underground. We get some more insight into Helena, and by that I mean it's obvious that this place is important to her and someone else she's looking for right now named Deborah. Did I mention she still hasn't told Leon anything?
I'm getting kind of tired of you stringing me along.
Me too, go. Me too, go. We get to a room where we find a tape named Happy Birthday Ada Wong, and it's It's something. Look at section where we gotta push all these buttons later, and then we go deeper underground until finally we meet a bad bitch? This is Deborah, Helena's sister. The reason I'm telling you that and not Helena is because now she's saying let's get Deborah out of here, and then she'll spill the beans. Listen here, white woman. We did has been through hell and back like Kid Ink. It's been 2 hours and I still done the same amount I did 2 hours ago, which is nothing. And this bitch ass escort session I have to do alone isn't making it any better. The roof starts caving in, and before we can get out of here, Deborah hears a snippet of my new mixtape and dies from greatness. Or doesn't actually. But before she can come back to hear more of my music, she gets hit with a 195 headshot from, oh my god. Hot take, I repeat, hot take incoming. This is arguably the best Ada has looked and sounded in the franchise. Remakes included, I don't give a fuck. Helena ups pole on Ada, but Leon's aura overpowers her and tells her to chill out. Cause you acting like she shot your sister or something, bro. Chill out, that's fine shit. Don't do that. Fortunately for us, Deborah had Unbreakable and pops back up out her coma, and we got a boss fight on our hands. Hey big bro, player tip, just in case you live with your parents or any type of roommate, lock your door cause this boss is #freaky. The boss itself though wasn't okay, it wasn't that bad. The minecart section where she was fucking with the tracks and hopping back and forth, a bit claustrophobic, was still pretty fun nonetheless. We crash off the minecart and together, Helena, Ada, and Leon face off against Ada. And I'm not gonna lie, this boss was low-key nostalgic, because back then when I was little, this used to be the fight I would always watch while I was watching gameplay of this game. And it's like it's fun as hell to be able to finally play it. Anyway, we spray down Deborah with bullets one last time before Helena has to be the one to ultimately let her sister go and put her down for good. And oh my god, finally, an explanation. TLDR, Simmons, who we will get to, don't you fucking worry. The nigga took Deborah and used her as bait to keep Elena under his thumb, having her breach the president's security, which led to him getting popped. And with that all explained, we get a call from the dickhead himself, and that chapter ends right there. Honestly, a nice slow chapter in the start that ramps up a bit and finally gives us an explanation on what the fuck is going on. And Ada as a guest appearance, like, okay, y'all. Let's see how the next chapter about to go. I'm hyped. So remember how I said I was hyped and shit could have gotten worse? We're now both the prime suspects in the president's murder. And this chapter is a pain in the ass. Like, actually annoying and boring. This whole entire catacomb section can actually suck my dick. And then, on top of that, you have to deal with a fucking shark. You know what? This is my video. I can do whatever I want. I don't gotta talk about these silly ass saw traps, or the annoying separated sections, or the caverns collapsing part with the multiple fat niggas on the bridge, and I mentioned the never ending bridge system in this old ass catacombs. I don't gotta talk about any of that at all. This is my video. I don't gotta talk about that. I do not know what came over me there. My apologies. We barely make it out before a big ass flow of water drowns us. My fault, y'all. Leon just has that effect on me. My bad, my bad. And then we get into a swimming section, which also isn't that good. At least I get to see Helena wet. I apologize to any women that are watching this and think I'm a super freak. I promise I'm not a degenerate, y'all. I promise. I swear to God. Player tip for this section, because maybe I'm just ass, because I couldn't avoid it, niggas. But please try to swim away from these underwater zombies, because they are not dead and will grab you and take your oxygen supply. Anyway, shark fight time. This fight hike here reminds me of those on-rail shooters you play at Chuck E. Cheese, and I mean that in a good way, because again, everything before this made me want to kill myself. We blow this nigga's head smooth off and make it out to the surface. TLDR, Simmons is heading to China, so we gonna head there too to pay his ass a visit. End chapter. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's a 2-pack of ass, yo, like no joke. The only reason I didn't cut the fucking game off is because the gameplay is just that fun to me. But the slow ass pacing and unnecessary ass enemy placement was really dragging this shit out. The shark couldn't even save me because I was praying he died quick so I get to the next chapter. Anyway, on to the next chapter, because it can't be as bad as this one. Be on a motherfucking flight to China and god damn! Helena, you still didn't answer my question on how far you can score. Helena and Leon have a nice little chat to catch their bearings, and it's cute. Really. I wish they had more moments like this. But surprise, there's a bit of turbulence, and no, not that kind, you freak. We got some trouble up in the cockpit, and oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. The TV monster makes a return, and this fight is way worse than the first one. Because remember how I said to keep your distance? Yeah, it's a bit hard to do since we're stuck in this little ass box while this nigga is oozing everywhere. We managed to scare it off into the vents, which is probably the worst place for that thing to be in. But anyway, the plane is still shaking, so we gotta go handle that down in the hole. But bro meets us down there to fix it for round 3. Instead of fighting the nigga though, we just say fuck it and open the hole to get his gassy ass off the plane. So that we do. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it's possible that we were able to get back on the plane with how hard the wind was blowing and how we fell out the plane. But you know, who am I to say? Fuck it. Fuck it. We get back on the plane and womp womp, everyone got a smell of the TV Monsters Galaxy gas and turn. Not only that, the plane's about to crash, so we gotta get up there ASAP. No Rocky, no Ferg, no Yams, RIP. So these niggas crash a fucking airplane. I repeat, These niggas crashed a fucking airplane in China and walk out with minor to damn near no injuries. Like, I'm trying not to be a dork, but like, this is Resident Evil. Is this Resident Evil or is this fucking Just Cause, my nigga? Anyway, we crash landed at a shipment yard and run into... If you couldn't tell by my excitement, these two are my favorite duo in the game by far. Jake Mueller and Sherry Birkin. Yes, that Sherry Birkin. I could geek out about these two some more, but I'll save that for when I get to their campaign. Anyway, we catch up for a bit. Jake and Leon got a bit of hostility between each other though. Guys, relax. We don't need to fight. A threesome between you two and me will solve all this. We find out Sherry is actually working for Simmons and has no idea that this nigga is a tweaker. Before we can get any more info, we get interrupted by this nigga.
Friend of yours? More like an ex-girlfriend. Guy doesn't know when to quit. Welcome to the club.
Even though my two faves are here, this encounter is still pretty meh, with him ending up getting blown to smithereens and us getting separated. I guess you could say we went our separate ways. I will be using this joke later. We get to a big ass locked door that needs 3 keys like any door in any game would need. It would meet a new special effect that's like Lil Reese, as in the nigga won't die. Shooting and killing it only gives you another problem to deal with, as it can split his body off in parts and regrow itself again to keep coming after you. So just try to refrain from shooting off any of his body parts, especially his fucking hands. 3 keys and a grinded up ass zombie later, and we make hella progress and we run into Ada again, so we give chase, only to get trapped in a room full of these Roombas. Player tip, bait these niggas out, cause they will chain explode and fuck you up if you let 2 of them pile up on you. Otherwise, we out of there and catch up with Ada, but so does Chris. We check that nigga for drawing a gun on our fine shit, but he lets us know that everything that's happened so far to him is cause of her. Also cause he lost his soldiers, but womp womp nigga, they signed up for that. Ada dips and so does Chris, but rest assured him and Leon are on the same side. We finally get face to face with Simmons, but so does Jake and Sherry. Sherry questions Simmons about his bullshit and he responds back with bullshit. Wow! He gets tired of us and gives the boss call for us to be put down, but before he can make his escape, he gets backdoor with the C-virus thanks to Ada. We catch up with Simmons on a train and he's not happy fine shit gave him the clamp, so he anamorphs into a dog. I did not read any of those books, but with that, it's boss fight time. Simmons is a very interesting fight to say the least. We fuck him up on the train, then go down into the train to fight some more. Keep your distance from him as much as possible. When he runs forward at you, dodge forward into him to make some space and then keep shooting him. Rinse and repeat until he becomes a big ass horse. I don't know what he be turning into. I don't. Put a nigga up with bullets. If you don't, he will kill you here, and wrap this part up. We then get back to solid ground to get a scoop of the current situation. So once again, TLDR, Jake and Sherry were abducted, and Jake is the key to stopping the C-virus. Chris calls and warns us of an incoming galaxy gas missile headed straight towards our current location, but it's too late, it hits, and with that, end chapter. I wouldn't say this was a good chapter, but it was definitely better than the last one. Just okay. Which I don't know if it's that saying much at this point, but hey, this last chapter can make or break the campaign. Chris and Leon have phone sex for a bit, and before Chris hangs up, he lets Leon know that Ada is dead. No! Veering aside, we must push forward. We get guided through the city by the BSAA soldiers, and right when we get dropped into safety, we get surprised by danger, aka a random ass tanker truck. Yo, this gang gotta be trolling me, dog. We wake up and oh my god, it's the prologue. A little bit different, as in the person in a helicopter is Ada! I'm still skipping this shit. Plane go boom, helicopter crash, glass go splash, back for more, and oh my god, it's Simmons. Who would have known? This fight isn't that hard, but boy does it drag. Shoot the explosives to knock him out of his horse form to deal damage, rinse and repeat, so a BSA agent comes to pick us up to drive around the same arena to shoot Simmons some more. Yo, are they serious? Or did he really just come to drive us around? We deal with Simmons and ride up an elevator to get to an emergency helicopter up at the top of the roof. While up the elevator, Helena basically teases Leon for having a very obvious crush on Ada. But to be honest, if I was Leon, my ass would have been stopped eating because Helena is right there. Oh shit, the elevator. While we're coming back up, we see Ada in danger. And like any real nigga would, he goes to say fine shit. Ladies, get you a man like Leon. No, not me. After surviving what the hell he just bombarded Leon with, we realize this nigga is high-key an incel. We've been fighting an incel for 2 hours. Yo, I'm about to uninstall this fuck ass game, bro. We gotta fight this nigga Simmons for a 3rd time on this thin ass bridge with Ada and get him gone. Helena, being a W wing woman, tells us to go get our fine shit, and that we go do. Y'all already know what I would have done if I was Leon, but he lives by a different model than me that a lot of Resident Evil fans know and love. If it ain't wrong, it's wrong. But unfortunately, this nigga said fuck the World 3, I want round 4, and comes back as a fucking fly. Eat zombies to gain health or whatever. I'm over this campaign if you can't tell. Stick the lightning rod in the zombie and let his stupid ass eat it and get zapped by that lightning. Rinse and repeat so they get the chance to finish this nigga off for good. After finishing off this simp ass nigga, letting the credits roll, get an after credits scene of Helena mourning Deborah. You know, I think the scene could have been more impactful if Deborah was more fleshed out and wasn't reduced to sexy, slimy zombie woman, but hey, that's just me. She's also pardoned for her crimes and gets her name cleared since, duh. Therefore, joining Leon and Hunnigan and moving forward. High key, all 3 of those final fights can blow a dick. Oh my god. 3 fights of dealing with this simp ass nigga. Matter of fact, no, 4. And then the shit prior to that. Oh boy. Yeah, man, this campaign was okay. Not straight up bad, but Helena's story being underdeveloped like shit. Deborah being basically an afterthought. The Ada plot being complicated as hell here. The slow and boring ass levels that try to be scary but fail miserably. Simmons, all put into one shitty ass pack of sardines, doesn't help his case at all. But maybe Chris will be a step up from that. Cue the intro. We start off this campaign with Mago in shambles, I tell you. This is not the same nigga that was punching boulders in the last game. Stereotypical tough guy drowning his sorrows in alcohol opening aside, we get approached by a random nigga named Piers, who says we need to lock the fuck back in and get back out on the field, dog. Look at you. No swag, no riz, no huzz. Suit up, nigga. Damn. So you know what? Hell yeah, man. We suit the fuck back up and round up the soldier huzz, the sus. And straight from the jump, this campaign is nothing like Leon, as the gameplay is way more action-packed and honest to God, way more fun. It isn't as story-oriented as Leon, since it's just Chris regaining his bearings and getting back into the groove of things by rescuing hostages from this one building. And with that in mind, Chris's gameplay is high-key fun as fuck. His base loadout includes an assault rifle, which you will need to deal with the onslaught of enemies in this section, even letting you take cover like it's fucking Gears of War, because these niggas have guns and will shoot you with them. In a Resident Evil game, take advantage of cover, hit your headshots, dodge, and you'll be good. Especially since Chris's melee naturally deal with crowds pretty well because of his large ass hooks and uppercuts, and the fact that he picks up niggas and throws them at other niggas like a fucking surfboard, like a goddamn bowling ball. The enemies here aren't a sausage eater because, again, onslaught of them, they're all on screen, and there's lots of them on screen at once, and it was low-key gonna get boring until the game started scaring me. I'm not trolling. Mars can attest to this. These flying moth bitches legitimately scared me every time they were on screen. The speed of their transformation and with how big and erratic they are, bro, I couldn't do it. I just flinched and yelped every time these shitters morphed in my fucking face and started buzzing towards me. I couldn't do it, bro. It was scary as fuck. But even with all that in mind, they aren't that big of a problem. Unless there's multiple of them, just knock them out the sky and you're good. They aren't that big of a deal. So we in the building. Our job here is to rescue hostages and get them out safely. The hallways and very small spaces low-key help build fear, or at least raise the nerves of whoever's playing it, because niggas will be waiting behind corners to get to jump on you. And speaking of jumping, another enemy that gets introduced in this chapter is those fuck ass spiders. These niggas also creepy the fuck out for a multitude of reasons. They are so low to the ground and move so fucking fast, I'm not trolling.
That's the 3, I knew it.
Oh! They seem slow at first until they start jumping around and leaping at you. That's not even the worst part. These niggas can also use guns and shoot you. Not only that, they can crawl on walls, dog. Honest to God, there is a room with 3 of these niggas on the fucking ceiling. And the second you walk in, they start spraying you like it's season 5 SMG meta Fortnite. I swear to God. Me being pussy aside, after saving the last hostage, the building is set to be bombed, and Chris and Piers get trapped. So to end off the level, we make a mad dash to get the fuck out. After that, we get a bit more insight into Chris's PTSD, and the chapter ends right there. And I'm not gonna lie, Chris's campaign is fun as a bitch. Yeah, I remember how I just said Chris's campaign was fun? I just lied. I did just lie. This was actually the most miserable chapter experience I've had in gaming in a while. And the ending of the chapter represents my misery perfectly, as Ada kills all of Chris's men. And it's supposed to be sad, especially because one of them is named, in quotations, helped you throughout this campaign, or this chapter. But no, fuck him. Fuck Finn. I thought Leon chapter 3 was bad, but boy was I wrong. Imagine if that chapter mega evolved. It would be this from the first holdout section. Yes, first. There's like multiple. I knew this chapter was gonna be some shit. First, you gotta hold out against this big ass BOW for damn near an eternity while these other Walvo are non-stop coming at you from every angle. But thankfully the tank gets there, so you follow the tank. Skip past a little bit, you get to this goddamn bridge where you clear out the bridge and try to make space where there's Walvo up the ass. Meanwhile, there's Walvo, there's a tank, and niggas with snipers letting it fucking rain on you like Stephen Curry. You deal with that until you go up on top of the bridge where you have to deal with the exact same thing. Only you gotta hold out again. This time you gotta wait for Finn to carry a random nigga to safety, and then all the way up to the bridge where he starts to blow that bitch up. And you gotta wait for him to blow up said bridge while Walvo are being dropped from the fucking sky like it's his Fortnite. Next part, Jake and Sherry show up, but they couldn't even save this bullshit. Just know Jake and Chris got beef for now. Anyway, we gotta deal with these turrets and blow them up. Obviously there's 3 of them. You gotta get to the turret, kill the nigga on it, and then have Finn rig it to explode. But you gotta protect Finn so he can do it safely, and there'll be a little timer circle indicating his progress. And sometimes he'll be like, hey, can you get this big ass STD away from me? And that's cool. But here's the thing, it's not like he has to get attacked and he'll stop or say something. No, a Walvo just has to be near him for him to stop working on the bombs. And sometimes he won't even say anything to let you know that he needs help. He'll just sit there and wait for you to notice. Meanwhile, you're running around getting chased by this big ass BOW and the Walvo who are endlessly spawning and raining bullets on you fucking stop. You're trying to keep all that away from him, but you won't know he hasn't made any progress on the bombs until you physically look in his direction to check if the circle is there or not. It's not like it's on screen all the time. No, you have to be looking in the direction of the circle. You have to physically move your camera to look at the circle to check the progress if it's done or not. And once you check if the circle is there or not, you have to go all the way back to then help him again. After you do that, you have to kill the big bitch to move on. And if you were like me, you have probably had little to no ammo or herbs left due to going through Dante's Inferno prior. So you're running around looking for any type of boxes or just beating up lava with your bare fucking hands, praying they drop ammo. Then to take down the BOW, you gotta shoot them nigga in the mouth so it'll fall down and you can jump on it and expose its weak spot. But if you're unlucky like me, it'll fall down in a spot where you can't climb on it fast enough, leaving you shit out of luck.
I'm not gonna make it. I don't think I'm gonna make it. Oh.
And all while you're trying to shoot this thing in the mouth and avoid getting stomped on and grabbed, there are still endlessly spawning Walvo shooting you and snipe you from every single angle, non-fucking stop.
If I don't get this prompt to hit this box, no, use it. Oh my god. Why did this just start me off on not load? Thank you. This nigga went back up the step. My idea didn't work because it went the other fucking way. And this nigga Chris goes back up the stairs. I'm gonna lose my mind.
All anti-aircraft guns have been silenced. Nice work, Alpha. But you're not out of the woods yet. Echo team can't land until you take care of that other BOW.
What do you think I've been trying to do this whole damn time? No, it was actually worse than my first time. I think that might have been actually worse than my first time. Oh my god.
City Hall. Fuck the plot of City Hall. Just know there's 2 new enemies here, and they're both annoying as shit. These lizard shitters can run around fast as fuck, jump through holes on the ceiling, and can shoot you with acid. The only saving grace is that when they're about to spit at you, is really predictable and easy to dodge. But these armored fucks, on the other hand, shoot the plates off to kill them. Easy as pie, right? Except if you're me and run out of ammo. Also, I think this might be the only enemy I've seen that can fucking combo you. These niggas will charge you, knock you down, and hit you after they knock you down. And God forbid they knock you down and you get put in the down state from the first hit. Did I mention in your first encounter with these niggas, you have to take down 3 of them in one room? I actually went to take a bath after this chapter so I could wash off all the ass I just experienced, bro. Like, if my fine shit wasn't miles away from me, I would have asked for some head to clear my mind. I'm not joking. I'm actually stunned at how miserable that shit was. Like, holy shit. Like holy fuck. Like, if I don't end this segment here, I'm gonna keep ranting about the chapter, so fuck it. On to the next one. On to the next one. After taking a deep breath and taking a break, out of all the long ass chapters in this game so far, this might have been the one that dragged the hardest. Like, god damn. Off the rip, we get run up on by a giant snake. Wonder where I've seen that one before. And we gotta chase it down. But we gotta get through some Walvo first. I gotta say though, the music in the background of this section is unnerving as hell, building up tension perfectly, especially while you're clearing out buildings and running through these corridors. As we go on running into these new special effected, and while it looks cool, bro's a pushover. I'm not gonna lie, these webs do nothing, bro. This is future me. After beating the game, these webs do something. These niggas are not pushovers. We go outside and get surprised by Jake and Sherry after they were presumed dead after they were being kidnapped. It's a long story. But anyway, we cover for these niggas to help them get to their destination safely. But while we're covering for them, we get greeted by a new special effected. These crash hopper ass niggas. Yes, I just made a Ben 10 Omniverse reference in the big 2025. Get off my dick. Just keep your distance from them because they will kick the shit out of you, and make sure you keep an eye on them when you see them spawn, especially in the distance, because in my reference to give them away, they do be hopping and jumping high. Get rid of all the enemies, shoot a nigga on the helicopter, and done deal. After that, you get the grenade launcher, and you about to put that bitch to good use and take down his helicopter with it. Another one. The further we go, the more tensions between Chris and Pierce increase due to Chris needing to avenge his men and put Ada in the dirt. Well, that low-key isn't crazy because look at what she's done. His abrasiveness is putting his niggas in danger. It's like, nigga, we gotta chase it down and then fight it in his low-ass room, where it just disappears for a second, then comes back. Rinse and repeat, so you have to go do the same thing in an even smaller room. You can tell I'm not a big fan of this fight. We take it outside and play Ring Around the Rosie with it for a little bit, and then lead it into this electric pool, I don't give a fuck, where you finally fry that motherfucker like some chicken and put it down for good. And God honest, that was the most anticlimactic fight so far, bro. Like, after the first few minutes, I was over this shit, bro. And there's 2 more phases of it. We get a burst of fresh air before Ada pulls up and murks Chris' last soldier, besides Pierce, of course. And that shit has Chris in the dumps. But a quick pep talk from Pierce and him showing his loyalty gets Chris back on track. After that, and a bunch of boat hopping later, this part had me fucked up, bro. Because this game has a problem. You know, side note, another rant. The game has a very glaring problem where some cutscenes don't stop gameplay. So you'll be in a cutscene, you'll be getting attacked or being about to get attacked in the cutscene, and you'll just get fucked by it. This part had me fucked up because the helicopter was still giving me back shots in the cutscene and dropped me in the fucking water and I died. So in this section, just keep on running no matter what, bro, because the cutscene will fuck you over if you're dumb and slow like me. Anyway, we get to the part where Leon and Chris meet up with each other, and you already know what happens here, so let's work for me.
Pierce here to go. Pierce here to go. I'm still dead though because it's gonna explode on me. Yeah.
Right after that, we get into a high-speed car chase with Ada, and her ass is fast. The waffle aren't that much of a problem until you started driving. Pierce drives first and then Chris after. So whoever you are, when you're driving, spam the fuck out of the boost because Ada is fast as fuck and swerving through corners like Leangelo motherfucking Ball. Once you catch up and jump the gap, the chapter ends. Honestly, a big step from chapter 2. But that's not saying much. I'm starting to see a pattern in this game where chapters just start to drag the fuck on. And you low-key get annoyed of it, especially in some parts. Because you know, you can tell they could have cut this out. But hey man, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. 2 chapters left for Mr. Redfield. Let's just pray the next one is good. Or even better than this one. Pray. This chapter wasn't as bad, I think. It's a yes or no, nigga. It starts off with a bang straight out the gate as you get introduced to these new Neo Umbrella super soldiers that low-key look like Kamen Rider to me. I don't know, maybe it was on purpose. Either way, they're hard to deal with in groups due to how advanced they are and what they can evolve into if left alone. Like a big-ass kamikaze nutsack. Those words are not in the Bible. I never thought I had to say that combination of words in my life. We gotta get this door open to chase down Ada. So you know what we do? We bust it open with this big ass missile. Like, bro, this game is absurd, bro. Crack that open and skedaddle out there. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this chapter was just a bunch of running and weaving through enemies so I could conserve ammo. Hashtag think smarter, not harder. We go deeper into the boat to chase down Ada, but she looks different here, like the time she did with Leon in the Deborah fight. We catch up with her immediately after changing her clothes for some reason, and she spills the beans about her plane. Damn, I dead ass mistyped. Unscript, I dead ass. There's so many typos in the script. I put plane instead of plan. God damn, bro. Her plan of launching the missile into the city and starting a global pandemic. Chris Loki wasn't listening because he remembered he was Batman, and Batman doesn't kill people. So he quits his revenge and says he'll bring Ada to justice. Unfortunately for Chris, Ada got popped by one of Soulja Boy's 150 shooters from Atlanta and fucking dies. So we just take the suitcase that she dropped that had the virus in it and skid out to go stop this missile. Before we do that though, we gotta lock a door that requires 3 keys. Hopefully there's nothing in my way that's annoying that I've seen before. You gotta be fucking kidding me, yo. Yes, the same collect 3 keys section from Leon's campaign with the same enemies from Leon's campaign, except this time you're on a boat in these tight ass corridors. So have fun trying to squeeze through a door to escape while these dickheads are trying to snatch your face off. After we get the keys, we get to a jet, and I cannot express how much I was praying that they don't make me fight this fuck ass jet, bro. But alas, we gotta fly that bitch. Luckily, it isn't as hard as it seems. Maybe that's because I was on the easier difficulty, but it wasn't that hard. Just dodge when the game tells you to and shoot down the helicopter and parts the game tells you to. After that, Pierce hops out the plane and goes to the table and shut off the missile. Cover him and it'll be easy. What the fuck? If you're dealing with the BOW, Pierce shuts off the missile and hops back on the jet. But the missile comes back on and launches before we can stop it. My fault, y'all. It goes for the city Leon is in, and we have the same conversation. But the reason we have to save Sherry and Jake is because Sherry is queen, but also because Jake has the antibodies to deal with the virus. And he's Albert Wesker's son, aka the big bad guy that Chris killed in the game prior to this one. So that's gonna be awkward when we tell him about that. But we don't gotta worry about that until next chapter. Speaking of, the chapter starts off kind of sweet with Chris saying he wants to retire and says he'd be honored to let Pierce take over his legacy and role as captain. I think we all know where that is going. Real quick though, I really do fuck with the environment and the overall vibe of the underwater facility. It's literally like nothing else up to this point in this campaign. And thank God, because the outside battlefields, small corridors, and streets were getting on my last nerve. We check for Jake and Sherry on the cameras and find them, but Chris being a dumbass sets on the alarm immediately after. So we gotta brawl our way through, and that we do. Bars. After crawling through some fans, snapping some necks, a very stressful holdout section, finally meet up with Jake and Sherry, and Chris spills the beans about how he one-pumped his dad and sent him back to the lobby. And I can't lie, this is a pretty stressful scene. Even though we all know he's not gonna shoot Chris fucking Redfield, Jake puts his emotions to the side and focuses on the task at hand. Make sure this cocoon doesn't blossom, so once again, we teaming up together. Pull these switches and get ready and keep your balance, because this part can get wicked if you get too overwhelmed while these escalators are moving up. Especially since everything in the kitchen sink is being thrown at you. My nemesis, the moss, make a return and scare my bitch ass one last time for the road. We get to our sauce, but unfortunately for us, the cocoon pops out his coma like Kanye and we get split up. Chris and Jake give each other one last look and head off to handle business, leaving Chris appears to deal with chaos from Dollar Tree over here. The mad dash to the elevator against this nigga is legitimately stressful but fun as hell. It knocking down every single thing in its path and demolishing everything in front of the soldier duo with every movement it makes. It's screeching and roaring, shaking the entire facility, including us, knocking us off balance. It's more clear that this nigga cannot leave the facility no matter what, and we gotta live to put it the fuck down. You get to a separate room and have a quick fight with it to put it down. This is Resident Evil. Obviously, the nigga is still kicking and causes another fun-ass chase sequence. We make it through, but get put in a sticky-ass situation. Pierce loses his arm and Chris is getting mangled right now, but Pierce has an idea. A very scary one. Remember that vial he picked up from Ada? Chris and mutated Pierce have one last showdown with Chaos in a boss fight that low-key had me confused at first, but soon I figured it out and cooked the nigga alive. Literally, thanks to Pierce now being able to shoot lightning out of his fucking thing. Riddle that motherfucker with bullets until it cocoons up and then shoot it again while it's in cocoon. Stab it, rinse, and repeat. After the fight, she gets a little emotional seeing Chris trying to keep his only partner alive. The one nigga that has been by his back this whole time, literally leaving and fading away right in front of him, and Chris trying to keep that nigga with him. It's a little heartbreak, I'm not gonna lie. It's sad seeing Pierce deteriorate and fade away, especially if you had a co-partner this whole time. We make one last dash to the exit, and I'm just gonna let this final scene play out here because it's a damn good send-off for his campaign.
We're almost there. See that? We'll be out of here in no time. Come on. Got it. Here we go, Pierce. We're getting out of here. Open the door!
God damn it! Listen to me! We can still both get out of here! There's still time! What are you doing? No, Pierce! Don't! You can still make it out! God damn it, Pierce! No!
Pierce, open the goddamn door! That's an order!
No. The reason why I'm saying it like this is because
That was the worst campaign. Holy fuck. God damn, man.
I'm not gonna hold you, man. That was the best chapter I played so far. Like left hand, right hand to God, the stakes, the set pieces, the gunfights, the drama, the ending. It's all pretty damn good. If chapter 2 didn't exist, this campaign would have been way higher in my opinion. But it is what it is, and Chris's campaign is laid to rest. Overall, not bad. Definitely not Resident Evil though. Like, I don't think there was a single puzzle in this fucking campaign. But what lacks in the puzzles though is made up for the most part in the action. And why? Because that's why his campaign sucks. And I would understand you. I gotta disagree with you because it just made it fun. And what's wrong with it being fun? What's wrong with fun? It's a game, bro. Let's have fun. Come on now. But now with 2 out of the 4 campaigns done, please stick around for this intermission. Please and thank you. Hey, this is the intermission. This part is completely unscripted. This is for those that got this far, or those who are like actually paying attention. If you're asleep or something, hey. If you're not, if you're actually watching, just enjoy the galaxy background. Hi. This is by far my longest video, and I'm pretty sure it's the video I put the most efforts in by default because of what I had to do. So, and because of that, in my situation, you feel me, I made a Ko-Fi. Yes, I'm selling out. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I need the money, bro. I need them. I'm selling out. Seriously though, I do want to make these videos full time, and I do want to, you know, put more effort into these videos and make long videos like this full time. Because despite how long this took, actually getting it done was really fun. But I don't got the time or funds to be afford to, you know, spend so much time on it and still be broke. You feel me? Or that sounds crazy, but like to put as much effort and do more and put more into it without having to worry about the stress of, you know, life and money and shit like that. And with that being said, I made a Ko-Fi. It's gonna be in the description. The first link you see, if you gonna see it, if you see this part, or you're already gonna know it's in the description if you see this part. But yeah, I put that there. Just, you know, spare change, a little $5 if you can. Trust me, you don't. This is optional, completely optional, bro. I don't want you to think this is something you have to do if you want me to fuck with you. Trust me. You watching this and subscribing, if you're new, is all I need. Trust. Anything else besides that is extra, and I thank you for it. With that out the way, like I said, if you're feeling extra generous, you're feeling nice, link is in the description, right down there. All that aside, thank you for watching. I hope you continue watching beyond this point to the end. See you soon. Love y'all.
Looking out for the day when you're close to me. When you're close to me.
And here we are, my 2 glorious faves. Bro, I can't stress enough how much I love these 2. Like, look at their character select screen, bro. The framing of them in the light and darkness with them occasionally checking on each other. Like, oh my god. This is a result of me being on AL3 too much. You know, matter of fact, fuck it. speaking of, I got something to get on my chest. We need more Jake and Sherry material. Damn it, my ghosts get no love. None from Capcom and none from fanfic writers. And that's gotta change. So I'ma lead the change. I'ma lead the cause, nigga. Me. Hashtag Jake and Sherry on top. Who's with me? Bitch, if you don't talk about the game. We start off with my glorious king and some of his homeboys taking a syringe of whatever the fuck. And while his other homeboys are geeking hard off of it, Jake is locked the fuck in. Jake handles one of his geek homeboys before Sherry comes in and tells him that he's needed to save the world due to his antibodies in his blood. I already said why that's the case, so let's work for me. If you're good at paying attention to dates and environments, then you'll know that we're in the same place and time that Chris and Pierce are currently in from their campaign. Unless you're watching this video while sleeping or doing dishes. Nah, nigga, don't try to wake up and look at the video now. Don't try to stop doing this now, nigga. Nah, I caught you, nigga. So that means you also gotta do it Wavo too. Except there's a fucking chopper raining down Boulevard to keep you on your toes throughout this intro. Soon the duo will get a bit of downtime to talk, and Jake, thinking that he's hiring her, or that he's getting hired, tells her his prices since he's a mercenary. But it's clear that that's not what she's here for. For negotiating and getting the bag, just like me. Some acrobatics, some teamwork, and scripted falls later. Side note, but one of the things I love about these two is the dialogue they share. Unlike the other campaigns from before this, they bounce off each other really well. Jake's cynicalness and his charisma mixed with Jerry's seriousness surprisingly work really well. Sometimes even some of their lines have me snorting and chuckling. I love them, bro. I love them.
What do you think? Fight or flight?
Too many of them. I'm gonna go with flight.
We get to a tunnel where we meet the big bad of this campaign, the nemesis of this game, Ustanek. And while his set pieces here are pretty cool, it's a bit sad that he's not really mentioned much after his game, like at all.
There's always something with women.
Always something with women.
After running from Bro, getting a restraining order, he violates that shit immediately and pulls up on us for a boss fight. It's nothing too crazy to deal with. Just keep your distance, bait him near these red barrels, then blow him up. And keep an eye on him, because they do a specific animation with his grappling hook, and once he does that, get ready to bob and weave out the motherfucking way, because he will grab you. There's also going to be a new gun upstairs before you start the fight in this section called the Elephant Killer. That thing does hella damage, so please don't forget to pick it up. Once we drop the boom on Ustanek, we get the fuck out of there and get some more insight into Jake and the current situation. After we get out of there, we meet up with Chris and Pierce in the same cutscene from their campaign, and it's the same section. It's the same hellhole from Chris's campaign. But luckily, it's not as bad as before. While Chris and Pierce deal with the turrets, Jake and Sherry gotta deal with the BOWs. Jake's dialogue during the latter half of this campaign is funny as fuck, because he does not want to be here, bro. He should have raised his price, bro. This is way above his pay grade.
Christ. My chances of survival were higher when I was a soldier of fortune.
We wrap that up and get on a first class flight out of here and have a bit of downtime to ourselves. So Sherry, I know we just met and everything, but how far can you score? Oh shit! Fortunately for Jake though, Ustanek heard our borderline sexual harassment riz and decided to dirty Mac. This first part of the section, he'll peek through the chopper and reach through that bitch for a bit. Shoot him off immediately. Repeat that for a few times, then we hop to the next chopper where we go minigun for minigun against Ustanek. Shoot the fucking choppers, not him. The other choppers. Make sure to shoot the ones he's not on first, then take out the one he's on. Also shoot the lock-on missiles ASAP once you see it up here. After that, we see that nigga packing, but he takes our ride along the way. Luckily, Jake clutches up and catches a parachute at the last second to get us out safe and sound. Then the chapter ends right there. Yeah, I'm not even gonna hold you. This is my favorite opening chapter by far. It's not even close. It mixed with the Chris Wavos with Leon set pieces, mixed with two interesting ass characters to keep me on board, makes for a good ass opener, leaving me excited as hell for what's in store. So it turns out we did not land safe and sound. We lost some of the important data, my fault, data on Jake, and we gotta get it back. So you already know what that means. Rule of 3, go get that data, nigga. This section is pretty difficult because if you couldn't tell already, we're in a fucking snowstorm. And it does not play around, as sometimes the wind will start blowing hard as hell and you genuinely can't see anything on screen until the snow stops blowing in your path. Of course the Wavo are back, but not only that, there's new special infected. We get to deal with the Crow, and I'm not talking about the comic that you should read. These niggas are the boss from last campaign on crack. They take way more damage, they're way more sporadic, and way more aggressive. Not only that, but certain icy uphill sections can fuck you over, because if you fall or dive to the ground in any way, you will slide all the way down. And you better pray you hit a rock or something to stop you so you don't fall off the damn mountain. After that though, we get a nice cutscene with Jake learning a bit more about Sherry and her past, her healing, and her dad William. It's a really nice scene, but the sensual tension gets interrupted by the Wavo, so we gotta handle it.
Crashers. This party is invitation only.
All this ruckus causes a fucking avalanche, so we have to escape on these conveniently placed snowmobiles. And I don't want Why did my dumbass put jet skis in the script? Come on now, bro. And I could explain how miserable this section is, but instead, I'm gonna just show my gameplay and let that speak for itself.
Coming up soon. Okay, we on it. Never mind. No, we not. We not on it. Never mind. This part sucks.
This is not a good idea.
Too late now!
Like, I can't see.
Now we're caved in the underground, and how the fuck did he get here? Welcome to the most stressful section in this game for me. For the first time in this video, besides the boss, a full section in Resident Evil 6 scared me. For real. Basically, Usanek is going off hearing and hearing alone. Sight too, but mainly hearing, using these flying bugs to single out any disturbances within their range, and they'll alert Usanek to your position. And once he's alerted, he will immediately pull up, and if he gets you, it's an instant kill. But luckily, there are these dumpsters that you can hide in. But if you alert Usanek more than twice, he'll just look at the dumpster after a second time and instantly kill you. So please lock in. Next section after the maze part, we're locked in the room with bro, and the key to freedom is right next to this nigga's size 30 Air Force Ones. But luckily, this part isn't as bad as it seems.
Jake, I need you to distract him.
Bitch, I did. Okay, I gotta do it again. Yeah, I should've set up first. Yeah.
Just get the C4 over on the right, set it up away from the key card and the door, blow that bitch up so Sherry can get the key card, and done deal. Psych, nigga! We make it out but get ambushed by Ada. End chapter. The first part of that chapter was low-key hell with the snowmobiles and the fucking snow mountains and the crows. But that second half genuinely locked the fuck in and carried hard. And again, has me excited for our next chapter. So guess who got kidnapped by Neo Umbrella? For 6 months, I might add. And my foot just cramped out. Wait a minute, nigga. How many months? The whole time we were in there, they ran hella experiments on us, especially Jake, to enhance the C virus. But it's about that time we break out. I can only imagine how much harder this part would be on harder difficulties. Like, imagine this on professional or no hope. If you're Jake on this part, all you got is your bare hands. If you're Sherry, damn, you got a stun baton at your disposal. With Jake, you gotta get on these cameras, FNAF style, and use the drones to shoot down niggas in Sherry's way. On this specific room though, let one of them put the code in on the door so Sherry can see it and use it on the next door in the next room so you can see it and progress. Once the duo is back together, we gotta collect some ID medals. Check everywhere for them. They could drop for enemies too, but the main ones you can find here. Yeah, that's it. The other 8, again, come from enemy drops. And while you only need 10 to progress, all 16 can get you a very important gun that you will need for later. We do that and get the data from Jake's experiments, and we get the fuck out. Yo, this game is not serious. Yo. After running from a fucking tank indoors, we get to the final room of this section. We gotta get the fuck out before this tank blows us to smithereens. No Joji. Jake is the key to wrapping this part up, as you gotta use the statue to flip over the gap. But to get the statue to rotate where you need it to be, you need to bait the tank over. And you're probably wondering, with that information, what's Sherry supposed to do on this part? Just sit there and look pretty, queen. Once we get past the tank, we get a motorcycle and hot tail it the fuck out of there. End chapter. And honestly, it was pretty fun. Like, how can you not enjoy Jake playing the piano? To progress, I might add. Like, when the fuck did he learn that? Where did he learn this, bro? Combine the fun of collecting ID medals with the progression of shaking Sherry's bond, you get a good ass chapter. Can the next one live up to expectations though? I said it a lot. But can it? But it did not live up to expectations, I fear. Motorcycle set piece. Oh, you know this part was gonna be hell. I don't even gotta say anything. You already know. This specific part though, where you save Sherry, is cool as hell. I'm just surprised these niggas didn't pull up a fucking Akira slide just for the one time.
You can! I'm coming!
Don't you fucking die not here, bruh. There you go.
Finally, we get off this fuck ass motorcycle only to get surrounded by lava, but luckily, this part is where Chris and Pierce help us out. Unfortunately, without me behind the sticks controlling those niggas, they're useless. Of course, we gotta deal with the grasshopper niggas and the fuck ass helicopters that we gotta take care of for the military with niggas with weapons. Heavy weaponry, I might add, that can't take care of them. We gotta do it.
Jake, no! You'll be killed!
You know what they say about desperate times?
Whoa, wait. I gotta see some. If I die, I die. Wait, I didn't know I could do this. Wait a minute.
You're going down!
Yo, no, I didn't know you could do that. Wait, okay.
We stroll on past that and see a very familiar airplane crashing and gotta go down the street filled to the brim with Wavo and these lizard fucks from last chapter. Luckily, thanks to watching hella runs on this game, I found an easy way to get rid of these lizard niggas. Slide into them, grab them, rinse and repeat till they're dead. Unfortunately, the rest of the section isn't as easy or quick to deal with because again, the street is filled up to the ass with Wavo that cocoon damn near immediately if you don't pop these niggas' heads like grape. I'm serious. After street sweeping aside, we run into Denji Chainsaw Man, deal with him, then run into... Yeah! Yes, it's the same fight from Leon's campaign, but it's nice seeing Jake and Helena interact and realizing this nigga is low-key crazy once he talks to Helena. But anyway, we wrap that up and split from Leon. It covers some more ground before you run into Denji Chainsaw Man again and driving a boat. If you're driving a boat in this section is literally a cakewalk. If you're not driving a boat, however, good luck, Charlie. We ride the boat and get off it one last time, but get ambushed and separated by Chainsaw Man one last time. But by the grace of God, Ada comes in clutch to save Sherry and then dips. We get one last nice cutscene between Jake and Sherry before we run into Leon and Simmons in the same confrontation from the last campaign. From 2 campaigns ago. We split off from Leon and make a dash to freedom only to get captured once again, I fear. End chapter. While this chapter was hell to play through, it kinda got better near the end, but that street section tanked the hell out of this chapter bad, but not bad enough for me to be excited for the final chapter, of course. But this was a mixed ass finale, because the beginning was something. After getting freed from our shackles by Mr. Redfield, we got hits of switches to power this battery, but we gotta use these fuck ass elevators to go up and down each level and door. But to make this part even sufferable, only Jake can go on some levels and Sherry can't. And to make it even more insufferable, the Regenerator niggas make one last cameo to top off this annoying ass section, because you'll be waiting for an elevator to come to your level, and while you're waiting, you'll get swarmed by these infinitely spawning dickheads and miss your trip. We hit all the switches, but surprise surprise, shit goes south and overloads the system. So now you guys skedaddle ASAP. We fight the Regenerator one last time before we jump to our last stop and get to the main elevator, where we meet up with Chris and Piers like in their campaign. Everything plays out the same, and we split off from Piers and Chris to let them handle Chaos. Oh yeah, his name is Chaos, by the way. I kept calling it Chaos because like the nigga from Sonic get it. We go off on our own and get to the last stop of our journey, the lava room. And of course, we aren't getting off scot-free because our boy makes a last standing appearance with a brand new arm equip, a damn wrecking ball. We get some distance from Ustanak, but he soon closes the gap and leaves us with no choice but to fight him. We handle him in a not bad fight that could get real bad and overwhelming if you have shitty awareness of your surroundings, but just keep your distance and watch the lava holes and you got it. Unfortunately though, we get separated again, leaving Jake and Ustanak face to face for one last showdown with nothing but straight hands.
You and me, come on.
This is more like it. Settle this mono.
Okay, come on then. Good shot, good shot, good shot. Good shot.
We're hitting that nigga with a Detroit smash. We got on a whatever the fuck this is, but this nigga makes one last stand to take us out. But unfortunately for his ass, the power of love overrules all. End campaign. And I'm not gonna lie to you, this was and still is by far my favorite campaign. It's just the perfect mix of everything throughout the game, and low-key the perfect representation of Resident Evil up until this point. Fun set pieces for the most part, action and varied enemies that keep a nigga on his toes, and actual Resident Evil pursuer that while his appearances are scripted and not randomized throughout the game like OG Nemesis, he still makes most of his screen time. And in my honest opinion, I wish he was featured a bit more. You know, like he He was that nigga when he was on screen. Genuine horror and puzzle sections, like this campaign is perfect. It's just the perfect jack of all trades. The only thing I would have changed is that even though Jake is literally the key to saving the world, I wish his backstory and character was more fleshed out, especially since this is his debut and he's the son of Albert fucking Wesker. But not only that, I wish Sherry wasn't as sidelined as much as she is. Like, I get Jake is new and that this is his debut, but having him be like the name of the campaign and not Sherry is low-key disrespectful, because this is Sherry motherfucking Birkin, my nigga. She's a RE vet. It should be treated as such. Like, her character is still adorable and hard as hell in this game, but I wish she wasn't as passive, if you see what I mean. Hopefully you get what I mean. Besides all that, though, I love this campaign, dog, and I would love to replay it from Sherry's perspective once I get the time to play this game again. Honestly, this might be the only campaign I revisit once I have the time to come back and play this game all the way through again. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But with that out the way, we got one last campaign left. And of course, it's the one to tie it all together. To put every loose end in one beautiful, nice, tight knot. The woman in the red dress, Ada Wong. So this is definitely the most different a campaign that started out, with the first thing being that we're completely on our own here, so no partner to rely on, buckaroo. We're on a submarine after getting hired by Simmons gets us to recover some info, and that we shall do. Now the submarine level itself is intriguing. Now I know for a fact if I wasn't complete ass at this game, I'd do way better on this part, because I was not used to how stuff oriented this part is and this game in general can be. And while me being ass is true, the stealth in this game is low-key underdeveloped. Like, it's easy but at the same time clunky as shit, which can fuck you over like it did to me in the Jake Maze part when I was apparently too far to slap that one bug bitch and got spotted. Like, you'll think you're close enough to an enemy to do a stealth takedown, but side nigga, you just did a regular melee attack and alerted the whole goddamn sub. Good luck, idiot. And also, there's no crouch. Like, there's no dedicated crouch button, which will always throw me off, especially since you can just jog up to enemies and take them down quietly so they don't hear you unless you're full on sprinting, which will always, again, throw off the Arkham player in me. Anyway, we get to a room where we, oh my god, it's a puzzle. Look through the ram head, interact with it so you can see through its eyes, check what animal is on the painting, and then match the 4 things around the room to match the animal and head out. Fact, or tip, the animal is randomized each playthrough, so you can't just look it up to guess. We run into these turrets that we can use to our advantage because they don't shoot us for specific reasons that will be named later. The deeper we go into the sub, the more info we find out about this second Ada. But not only that, the more enemies we run into, until one of them starts a damn fire that causes the sub to go haywire, leaving us on borrowed time before the sub crashes. We go deeper and deeper to the sub until we gotta have to do one last thing to get out of here, and that is answer a goddamn internet bot captcha a few times while getting swarmed by enemies. One enemy to keep a lookout for is the wasp heads. They don't attack you, but instead, they spit out this red gas that can stun lock you. So while they aren't much of a problem because you can just let them chill, they can screw you over if you're trying to deal with enemies besides them. But besides that, we just get that on up out of here and wrap this chapter up.
Verification complete. Simmons is waiting for you. I'm looking forward to seeing how this unfolds.
Authorization complete. Releasing locks now.
I'm glad that's over.
Not a bad chapter per se. Again, I just suck. Watch niggas that are good at this game and you'll see what I mean. It's insane. But definitely not a chapter I want to revisit. Anyway, starting off chapter 2, get ready to praise God because we at the church. And of course, this is at the exact same time Leon and Helena are pulling to the church. So we'll be seeing them very soon. Till then, we got some puzzles to solve. Side note, I love how much Ada talks to herself when doing stuff. Look, man, I'll be yapping and mumbling shit to myself constantly. So it's nice to hear Ada's voice while puzzle solving to keep myself for one insane. Plus, her voice get me brick. We gotta collect these family crest pieces to unlock this door, so prepare for hella fuckery. Player tip, in the room with the hanging bodies, hey Logan, before you shoot the main body down to finish the puzzle, shoot down the other bodies to farm some easy little loot before you keep going. Another tip, for the room with the torches, use the crossbow to pin niggas to the wall.
Oh yo, nigga, what?
Next we gotta hunt down 2 specific zombies that got keys to the final door. One of them is at this long ass hallway full of zombies, so if you can just run through them all and kill the key zombie, but you have to wait for a damn key to spawn from the zombie's corpse, and that shit takes a damn eternity. The other zombie will be in a room with a fat nigga bodyguarding him, but if you're lucky, he'll be stuck in the vent long enough for you to get in there and not worry about him, bro, at all. We finally get every single family crest piece and go into the church and meet up with Leon. And if you think I'm going over all this over again, you got the wrong one. We help Leon and Helena send Deborah to hell, then go on our merry way into one last puzzle, a section full of rod waves. We gotta navigate past them and have them knock down these gates to make things easier for us so we can get to this key and get on somewhere. Player tip, nigga, running down this hallway, be ready to dodge these armored fucks when they burst through the door.
Oh yeah, this part. You gotta be kidding me. I don't know why I thought sliding.
We get past them and do one more holdout section where we gotta clear out a room full of these armored niggas before you finally wrap this chapter up and find out the truth between there being a second Ada by watching the same freaky ass tape that Leon and Helena watch. Side note, can you imagine watching some shit like that for real? Like imagine you being like born, like from a cocoon sack, like that's your clone being born. Like that's you, that's your twin for real being born. This was a really relaxing chapter, I cannot lie. Just some good ass puzzle solving and backtracking for the most part. Unfortunately though, that piece gets ruined by Deborah. But after that, it's just regular RE6 action again, which can be hit or miss. And this ending was low-key a miss in my opinion. But with 3 chapters left, we got hella room to improve. So I just lied hard as hell. Oh my god, why do you keep listening to me? Stop, I'm a liar. I am a liar. We back in China and we're also here at the same time as Jake, Sherry, Chris, and Pierce. So we'll be seeing and hearing from them, especially the first 2 real soon. In the meantime though, we gotta run through these fucking streets again. We get through hell only to be greeted by Chainsaw Man and a chase sequence before we escape, and this is why the door was locked on Jake's campaign. Anyway, we get a key to a door and are you fucking kidding me? We beat this nigga's ass, get our damn key, and then leave just to run into this nigga again. And the fight here sucks.
Oh my god. Oh my god!
Grapple between the front and the back of the bus, no Rosa, till we get off the bus and on these train tracks to run the ones with this nigga one more time. One very familiar plane later, and we meet up with Jake and Sherry on their boat section. So we cover for them while we cover some ground. Unfortunately, the moths do make a return since they were here on this part, and they will fly all the way up to you if you piss them off, so be wary. Obviously, if you're paying attention, you already know Chainsaw Man makes a return, and 9 of his steel beams is enough to kill this nigga. So we save Sherry and watch him get turned into shredded cheese. After that, we see our clone on a goddamn high-speed chase with Piers and Chris on their way to the military boat. So we decide to take a jet ski to meet him there in chapter. And with that, we got 2 more sections to go. Here we go. If you couldn't tell, I'm low-key getting tired. We back on another boat and dealing with more of these common rider soldiers. And we not even done with the deja vu, as you gotta collect the 3 passkeys again. So we get the first one, the second one. Are you fucking kidding me? Generators pop up one last time to fuck me without consent. Anywho, we get the second key, and then the 3rd key is down this hallway with soldiers up the ass. So be prepared when they bust out these doors. We get the 3rd passcode and make progress before we went into the soldier boys, but we can't stay to chat, I fear. We go outside, crawl through some vents, fuck these spotlights.
I'm crouching.
Go through some more vents. Where finally we get another cutscene where we find the truth behind the fake Ada. And if you're confused, don't worry, I got you. Don't ever trip. Carla was a scientist that worked heavily with Simmons in order to get this nigga's love. Yes, she was sipping, but he was only ever obsessed with Ada in creating a virus that recreated her, aka a clone. Hella subjects were used for this, but not a single one of them worked until Simmons said, fuck it, just use Carla. So they did, and it was a success, leading to her rebirth as Ada, which was filmed and made it to the Happy Birthday Ada Wong tape that all Leon, Helena, and Ada watched. And things were good after that. Simmons finally got his fine shit, Carla finally got the love she wanted, but deep down, Carla hated him subconsciously for destroying her body and turning her into a whole different woman, who only grew stronger as she found out all the things that were done to her mind and body were true. But at this point, she was way too deep in and truly believed that she was the real Ada Wong while still hating Simmons. So she started Neo Umbrella, created Ustanak, and created Chaos, a fuck you to the world and a final fuck you to Simmons, as Chaos was supposed to be the end of the world if it wasn't for Chris and Piers. So now that you know all that, we got to put her down in an Ada versus Ada showdown. At this point, Carla has gone completely mad and has mutated into this Yeah, it's too easy. I'm not even gonna say it. She starts taking over the boat in this not bad section where we got duck and dodge all throughout this nut-filled boat. All while Courtney Taylor, the voice actor, is acting her ass off. We face off against Carla's face in a low-key underwhelming fight that leads us to cooking Carla with some liquid nitrogen and making our gracious escape towards the city.
Yo! What the fuck? What the? Why are all? Yo, fuck off this fucking bars.
You tried so hard to destroy the world.
Fuck you, faker.
And with that, end chapter. Honestly, the beginning half of this chapter was kind of buns, and so was the later half. But the story aspect and the reveal carried heavy. But with that in mind and Carla gone, probably gone, we gotta deal with Simmons and wrap this game up once and for all. We pull up to the city in a helicopter and help out the goat for a bit before they go do their tutorial section. We then fly off to go handle some choppers full of super soldiers for a bit.
I don't want to do this shit in a Resident Evil game. Wrap this shit up.
We blow them niggas up, then go help Leon handle T-Rex Simmons in the same fight that Leon had, except this time, of course, we're Ada in the helicopter, letting it rain missiles against this nigga. Speaking of missiles, save him up for this fight so he can cook Simmons easier. We drop Dinosaur Simmons, then head off on our own for a bit to go help some civilians, which is a little nice to see that Ada does indeed have a heart, but you can tell these niggas were low-key padding here. We land in the chopper, then go help Leon and Helena deal with Super Simmons one last time. We save Leon and reject this simp-ass nigga for the last time, sending him through the fucking fire like Chaka Khan and kiss Leon goodbye. Ada, wait! How far can you squirt? We go down to Carla's lab and see that she's currently working on another experiment that's in his cocoon right now. But Ada, just like me, is fed up with this shit and sprays this shit down to Kingdom Come so it's burning in flames. And cuts all these loose ends and cuts this chapter to a fucking end. But before I wrap these campaigns up, we got one last cutscene.
I feel like it doesn't matter. Like, for some reason. Alright, Sarah. We got where's vegetables?
I believe we had a deal.
Are you going to keep your promise?
Deal's a deal, kid.
Fair's fair, kid.
Cool after credit scene. I just wanted to hear that. Give me the fuck on this game.
We never seen Jake again, huh? Damn.
All in all, do I think RE6 is a bad game? Nah. That's what we call RE0. Nah, I don't want to hear it, bro. I don't want to fucking hear it, bro. That game is ass. That game is actually... I don't want to hear it, bro. But that doesn't mean the game is great either. It put the franchise in hibernation for 7 years until RE7 for a reason. Straying too far from what made Resident Evil so damn good in the first place is why. And while I don't disagree with those who said that, honestly, I think that's the charm of this game. And that's what makes it so replayable. That's what makes it stick out in its own little way. That's why I think this game is a little bit underrated, especially with some of the things that have it in this game that haven't come back since this game, like Capcom. Wesker Jr. is right here. Please do something. I'm pretty sure, like, canonically, Jake is technically the strongest human in the series. He has the best. He has antibodies that literally he can't get infected. He's suplexing. Fuck the script. He is suplexing infected giants and is immune to viruses. And it's the son of Albert Wesker. Capcom, come on, bro. Hopefully, though, you've enjoyed this video. And hopefully, I convinced you to give this game a fair chance. Or not. Honestly, after I went through to the end, I don't blame you if you don't want to play this shit. But if you got this far, though,
I genuinely appreciate you to the highest extent. If you're new, please subscribe and tell your friends about me while you're at it. And one last thing before I go, though. I got this video out before the Spear Hunter. Let's go, Rob! I love y'all. Take care.